What is up, everybody? You know what it is. It is the one and only Love and Listings after show. So Jacob gets some sound advice from his dad. Taylor meets up with her father and brother, and things get really emotional. And Anjani's deal falls through because Sean is still living with his mama. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's like this intro music. It's like it makes you smile.
I know.
And then get mad at the
It
same
kind of
time.
reminds you of Marshmallow, right? The artist.
Oh, I thought you meant marshmallows.
No,
me
Like
too.
For real marshmallows.
He's like EDM
I think we're
music,
hungry.
Yeah, marshmallows.
No, the
marshmallows
artist.
are toast.
Okay, don't worry about it.
What's up, everybody? You know what it is. We over here. Love and Listings after show. I'm your host, Lem Gonsavles, and of course, I'm not by myself. I got my gang with me. Right next to me is the incomparable, the amazing Angele Taylor.
Hey guys, good to see you.
And the super feisty Miss Neema Skye is here.
Hello, everybody. Neema Skye in the building.
That's right. She's part of the cast. You know, we are cast. I didn't know that, but we are. And of course, the anchor, my A1 since day one.
Hey, I like
Shannon
that.
O'Connor
What's
in the
up,
building.
everybody? How are we feeling about this emotional episode?
Oh my God.
I know
It
was
was
a lot.
heart-wrenching.
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It was a roller coaster.
was.
It was a roller coaster. We're
Yeah.
gonna get into it, but you know what?
Let's do it.
It's guest time.
Hey.
It's guest time. It's guest time. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the stars of Love and Listing, the youngest of the cast members and the bossiest of all bosses, Taylor is with us in the building.
I love that intro. Bossiest of the bossiest, period.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so Taylor, I'm so glad you're with us. Thank you so much for coming in. I want to get right to you and find out what is really going on with you and your boss. He seems to not let you live.
He is on some major hater shit. Like, I just feel like he's super, like, micromanaging to me lately, and he just, like, doesn't trust me, and I feel like it's just, like, causing a lot of distress with me and the other cast members because I'm seeing other people that are being able to prosper and being trusted with like new opportunities, and then I'm over here and I'm in this shell, and it's like I'm not a rookie agent. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and so it's just kind of like, you know, it's getting frustrating. It's getting under my skin.
Yeah. How do you guys think about that whole situation? Like, what is your take on it, Neema?
I mean, of course, I feel like, you know, in any male-dominated industry, whenever a woman, a strong woman, a woman who's a boss and who knows how to handle her business, I think that it's always tough for men to allow that woman to kind of take the lead. And I think that, you know, as women, like, we don't really have to prove ourselves. You know, we're smart. You know, we already know exactly what to do, but it's just trying to bring those two strong personalities together, and also too, like, being able to build a relationship, you have to be able to trust that person. So I think, you know, over a period of time, we already know that Taylor is proving herself. I think it's going to get better. So
I think so too. What do you think, Shannon?
I think it's honestly really hard for me to watch your guys' relationship because it seriously just makes me uncomfortable how he treats you. And it's hard because when you're in a job and you're like starting out, well, you're not starting out, but you know, you got to make some sacrifices sometimes to get to where you want to be. Yeah. But then it's to a point where it's like, how far will you go? Like, is this worth it anymore to stay working for somebody who like belittles you all the time? So it's really rough. It's honestly really rough. I feel for you. Like it's hard.
And I think, too, you have to look at everyone has strengths, right? Certain strengths. And we did see kind of further down in the episode where we see Shepard is introduced. And she ends up, you know, doing a situation with Zac where she's able to use her thing with the wife and kind of talk to the wife and kind of get that going. And that helped with the deal. Right. And getting that situation. And it's like, you got to know that you're always going to have something that you can bring to the table.
Exactly. Like, I just feel like I have a better ability to connect with, especially female clients. You saw with Vanessa Simmons, and then you see with Kai, Stevie Wonder's wife. I just feel like these are times where you can utilize me, and instead of trying to fight me, we can work together and we can get the deal done together. And so I just feel like,
because if the deal doesn't get done, you know, there's no paper. Exactly. There's no checks.
There's no check. And I got bills to pay. Rent comes every month. So we gotta close some deals, baby.
Yes.
Around the clock.
So let's break this episode down. We see that Jacob...
You didn't want my opinion?
I was going to get there.
she's like, I want to say something.
got you. But we do see Jacob. He gets a call from his dad, Suge Knight. This is the first time that he's been able to communicate with him in some time. And so he basically, he's talking to him about getting into real estate, that he doesn't want to do music and kind of follow his footsteps, but wants to kind of do that. And Suge ends up giving him advice on his career path and basically life in general. How did that scene make you feel, Angele Taylor?
Can I speak also to the Tai situation with Tai and Taylor? Tai doesn't want you to be great for some reason, and I really feel like he would be that way with anyone.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you personally. I think it's just a Tai thing because, like you were saying, it's about what the client wants, and Ty's like, no, it's about what I want. And it's just like, that's such a narcissistic approach to real estate because you are the guy that they're supposed to be able to go to for their needs, and they're paying you very handsomely to fulfill these needs. So why would you not want to go and, even if it's going off on a limb, even if it's a sacrifice of your own, I would do it because it's gonna pay out in the end very handsomely. So that's how I felt on that situation. Now the situation with Jacob and his dad, that was very heartfelt, and it was such a moment, such a poignant moment where I felt like Jacob is trying to live up to this reputation and trying to make his father proud, but doesn't really know where to begin. It's just too much for him right now at the stage where he is. He's like, but I can't move forward because I have to first get through this. And this is that exam. And that exam is like this wall that he has to climb over. And I'm just like I'm tuning in for the rest of the season to watch him climb, because I feel like with your support system happening and then other people supporting him, that he'll get to that moment because he's looking to you guys for inspiration.
Yeah, I think he just needed kind of like validation from his dad that he was on the right path. He's kind of been like a little bit lost. He doesn't know if he wants to do the music or the real estate or whatever, but I just feel like hearing it from his dad was like what he needed to like really get serious about getting his real estate license, because at this point he's still trying to get his license. And so I feel like this is just what he needed to propel him and just give him the confidence to like go full force like ahead with real estate.
Can you speak to you all's relationship, because you seem, and we're 2 episodes deep, and you guys seem really close. I think you personally make a good couple. My little humble opinion.
We are hoping that love.
Just saying. I mean, I want to keep watching because I'm like, yo, because he said you was fine and all this kind of stuff. Y'all was eating, fast food together, like, little nasty tacos. I was like, yo, if you gonna share the tacos, like, what's up? I'm just like, come on, man.
Slappy.
But
Charles was buzzing.
Right. I want to speak to that relationship because I want to kind of find out how you guys kind of came together and kind of how you built this before where he can even entrust you.
Yeah, we've been friends since high school, so we didn't go to the same high school, but we just had mutual friends, so we always like stayed close and communicated. And I told him that I was gonna get into real estate, and he kind of told me he was gonna get in real estate, and we kind of planned on like doing it together. And then he was the one who introduced me to Tai, so it was kind of just a thing that we were always supposed to do together. He got a little bit lost on his path, and I kind of went straight with it, but this has just been something that we've been planning on doing forever. We've been friends for a long time, and so I just feel like now that we're both here, we're just each other's like kind of like comfort and that we confide in each other and everything. Were
you instrumental in him pursuing this field?
Honestly, I almost feel like he kind of pushed me more. Like he was like, yeah, I want to do it. And I was kind of like, okay, well, if he wants to do it, if he can do it, I can do it. Right. So I like kind of like got more motivated from that. And I feel like now it's kind of roles are reversed. And now it's like he sees that I'm doing it and he wants to be part of the group and he wants to like be a licensed agent because we're on his head. Like, you need to be licensed. You need to be licensed. So now he sees that I'm doing it. And I feel like now it's roles reversed and he's kind of like the fire's lit under his ass for him to be a licensed agent.
Yeah. Interesting. Because I think it's great when you have somebody that you can lean on, especially if you're trying to do something new. I know like I don't know everyone's situation, but I'm not from LA, so I'm a transplant. So I came here, for looking for opportunities. And I think when you have something, you have that. I had my cousin who was already here, and he'd been here for several years doing his acting thing, and he was somebody that I could, relate to, rely on, kind of talk to, like, look, this ain't working, type situation. So I think it speaks to that. What do you all think?
Yeah, I think so too. One thing I do want to say, kind of going back to that conversation, I love to see him, see Jacob on with Suge Knight. Because, of course, we know so many different things about Suge Knight, but I think that we get a chance to actually see Suge Knight as a human, like, wow, he's bonding with his son. And, just to see... To see him give Jacob those powerful words was absolutely amazing. But yeah, I think that your influence that you have on Jacob is very, very great because, again, like, you said before, like, you're actually giving him that push. But also, too, you also kind of know the ins and out. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see the relationship and how it actually, like, kind of grows and builds more. But yeah, I mean, I think Jacob is a great guy, and I think that anyone who is actually starting out in anything, like, they need validation to be able to figure out, okay, what are the ins and outs? And even if you want to do something else, it's okay that you can do something else, but you have to be able to focus on that one thing. So I think that Jacob is going to, like, kill this exam. I guess we'll see.
Well, we know his mentor / friend killed it on the first time.
Yes.
Yay!
First time.
I'm
First
just
one done,
saying.
too.
Gang status.
Yes. She gets it right the first time.
I was not driving back down there.
And I feel like, and going back to the whole Tai, I mean, not to harp on, Tai, but, you obviously, being, your age, being that you're obviously hungry, you want to do this, you're serious about your work, you pass on the first time, you wouldn't understand that and be like, all right, let me give her a shot.
Yeah.
Let me let her do it and let her, and if there's a situation where it's like, oh, okay, didn't work next time, okay, let's regroup. But unless you prove otherwise, get it together, West Side. All right, so we did see another cast member introduced by the name of Sarah Shepard. She, this is interesting. She was in rehab, and that's where she started getting her clients from out of the, which I didn't know that was
brilliant.
I love it.
It's like, okay, we'll do it. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
So Zac asked her to work on a property with him to try to enclose, and this is we see Zac. He's been getting a lot of what we've seen in the previous show, and a lot of his clientele are people in the sports, and so he meets with Joe and Sarah Hayden. He's an NFL player, and is the wife. Sarah's not initially sold, and then Sarah, the other Sarah, comes in and works her magic, and so they decide to offer $4 million. I'm curious, how is it? Is that something that's very customary, doing like a tag team situation in closing a deal?
With big listings, yeah, especially on the listing side, it's customary to have 2 agents. Just 2 is better than 1. But on the buyer's side, I personally don't think he needed he didn't need Sarah to close that deal. It wasn't. All she needed to do was see the bathroom, and she wanted the house. So don't take her upstairs to the bathroom. And I'm not splitting half my commission for somebody to show somebody a bathroom. Yeah. So me personally, I don't think that it was necessary in that case, but it is customary for some occasions, mostly if you're on the listing side, not the buyer side.
So the split is 50-50 once you bring in another realtor.
Unless you have like another agreement. So like if you're going to do referral based, then it's customary to do 25-75 for referral. But for this, they split the deal.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Interesting. So just for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it actually went through. Is that what you're saying?
It did. Yes.
Oh,
Zac did close that deal with Joe Hayden. Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
was I think like that was a pretty big one for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if it stayed at $4 million, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like
I think it was like 33 because he actually posted it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
I saw that.
He did close that deal.
Listen, I am the news and gossip girl. So I have to know these things.
You gotta know the
I
scoop.
love that.
You gotta know the scoop. I just find that just very fascinating because we had Andrew on last week, and he was just kind of breaking down a lot of things in regards to how this process works. Angele obviously is working to get her license, so she's learning a lot of these things. I just like maybe I need to change professions.
Yeah,
because
right?
if that's what y'all making for showing houses, I'm like
For showing houses.
maybe this
That's all
hosting
we do.
thing. I mean, just saying. I mean, obviously, come on now. I know there's more work, but at the end of the day, it's very lucrative.
Yeah.
It can be very lucrative.
One deal is like what some people make in a year.
Yes.
Right.
So nuts.
3 years.
Like, I'm just
some
gonna sit
people.
down
Some people,
and
yeah.
retire for the rest of the year.
Right.
Right.
Well, in some cases, people just may close a big deal a year, and
Yeah,
that's it,
and
and they
that's it.
just roll on that
That's all you
until they keep it moving.
A lot of it's who
Wow.
like Zac, like he's
Sure.
raking it in
Who
from
you know,
all
yeah.
of his
Oh,
athlete
yeah.
friends. Sarah from from the people she met in rehab.
Right.
But I wanted to say something about Sarah.
Yeah.
Because how she said she replaced alcohol with selling houses. Like selling houses is her high.
Love that.
And Taylor, do you feel that same? Like it's kind of like a rush when you make a sale?
When you close a deal, it's definitely like it's so rewarding. It's like it's really stressful as well. So it's like you earn that check. Like it's not anything that's handed. You're not just like, oh, easy money, I should know.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. I said all the time, there's no such thing as an easy deal. So when you do get it, it's like, oh my God, you get that check, and it's like just the most rewarding feeling ever. And you're just like, I did it.
So how long did it take you actually to close your first deal?
My first deal, I didn't close. Honestly, I got like a small referral. My dad or my brother got like a condo in Hawaii, and that was like a really small referral check. But my first deal that I closed, I didn't close for like a year. Like I tell people in real estate, like I did not make $1 in the first year of doing real estate.
Wow.
So it's tough,
Yeah.
and it takes a long time. But once you get it going, like you see that it's just kind of like a ripple effect.
Momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was like the point? Because of course, like a year is a long time to not see money coming, and you know you're thinking like, I gotta live, I gotta eat, I gotta sleep. What was that determining factor that even though you didn't see anything, that kept you sticking with it?
Honestly, the fact that I didn't go to college. I'm a college dropout, so I'm like, I gotta make this work. Like, what am I gonna do if I don't have a degree to fall back on? So it's this or it's nothing. So I just had to keep pushing. I had no choice but to keep on going. And I feel like, no backup plan. Yeah. Exactly. So I had no choice, but it's working out right now. So and business is doing very well. So.
Plan A.
Hey, you
all
go,
day.
girl.
Yeah.
You go,
Stick
girl.
with it.
That's because you're a boss, girl.
Yeah.
Bosses,
Make it work. You gotta get it, make it work.
bosses. I said it earlier. Before we get on to the next topic, Angele, you have something to tell our viewers.
Oh, I do. Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and allowing us to be the ESPN of TV talk. We love being here. We love having guests like Taylor. But in order for us to continue doing what we love, we need your help. If you are watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, please. And if you are listening on our iPod or podcast, sorry. Please give us 5 stars. And also leave us some comments. We'll shout you out right here on air. We love to get you involved in the conversation. So help us out. We'll help you out. We'll give you great content. And thank you so much for watching and listening.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I kind of wanted, there was a part in this episode where you had a conversation with your boy Jacob, and he discusses the conversation he had with his dad, but then you bring up the issue that we saw last episode with Anjani. There was a turn-up moment, big time, at the end of that episode. And I want to go back to that because I want to kind of get where your perspective was. I mean, we saw it and it kind of looked like, all right, she's kind of talking about what's going on. You were upset because, maybe the situation with your boss and it's not really going well. Maybe there was some jealousy there. I want to get your perspective on that.
Okay, I will say this. There's a lot of things that obviously don't go into the episode and make the final cut. The reason why I was so mad is because I was actually supposed to be on that deal. So I showed, I showed Eric and Anjani a home in Calabasas. Yes, and
didn't say that.
Yeah, exactly. So I just look like I'm hating for no reason. Like she's over here. It's such a hater shit, but it's really not the case. Like I was supposed to be on that deal. I showed them a house. Anjani shut the house down. She was like, no, I don't like this house. And in front of me, she said, oh, I have this other property for him downtown. And so they ended up doing that. And then it's like, okay, so I'm cut out of the deal. I'm obviously frustrated. And then you're going to come over here and you're going to brag in front of everybody that you just closed the deal that I'm supposed to be a part of and I'm not a part of. I felt away. So
What? Don't you hate the way they edit at the end?
Like
you have no part in that.
Yeah.
So people's perception of you has been shaped from their editing.
If I didn't know that, I would look at me and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm a jealous ass, hater ass bitch. Like, because I look like that. But that wasn't what it was. I'm not.
I don't think that you were jealous. I kind of said before, I was like, okay, she's a boss. She's been doing this for a minute. And I kind of felt like in that moment, you felt like she kind of came in and she was like, oh, well, I'm making it. And you're like, wait a minute, I've been doing this for how many years? And like, it was kind of more of like a situation of like pride of like, I got something that you don't have. You know what I mean? And, I don't think that you seem to be jealous. Again, like I said before, I think, of course, the editing room, the editing room could be real sneaky, but
real sneaky.
You know, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. They can say whatever they want. They're talking about me, so I appreciate it. They're gonna tune in next week to find something else to hate on, so I'm good. We're good over here.
Yeah.
We do see a moment where Samantha and Sarah are working out together, and they discuss the deal, with Zac, and Sarah or Samantha feels a bit of a way because she's like, "Why didn't ask me?" type situation, but she has the business with rehab people, so I'm thinking maybe she's more qualified.
Really?
Situation.
Listen, Sarah seems like a true go-getter. It's just like
cool.
her energy.
Yeah.
Like she reminds me
love
of like
her.
that cheerleader,
Cool.
like the cheerleader girl that was just always like, "Okay, guys, it's spirit day. About to have a football game." Like she kind of reminds me of that type of person.
She
has
literally-
that
yeah.
energy.
She literally got clients from rehab. Like
I'm
that's
telling
like
you,
the best.
That's hustle.
Like, I mean, what I'm talking about, like lemons in the lemonade or whatever.
Yeah.
She took lemons into Hennessy. Like, she made it into something, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, she turned it into, like, a big deal.
She did.
And so I could see why, in this case, that would have happened. But also we know that Samantha has
Jelly.
feelings for Zac. And he's not reciprocating all the way. And it makes, in my opinion, it makes her seem a little
Thirsty.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, I
She
mean,
didn't know the
Did you-
situation.
Shannon, what were you saying?
So she didn't know the situation that he had a girlfriend.
Right.
So she says, I don't know, maybe she did kind of know a little something. But she was very upfront with how she felt to
Yeah, she
him.
was.
And then he was upfront with, hey, I have a girl, sorry. Like,
Well,
I closed that
after
door.
that, right.
Okay, yeah,
right.
that's what you're saying.
I'm like at the part before, because she's been
Okay.
on him, even when we saw in the first episode when they were working out. She
Yeah.
was
But
just
he
like,
seemed like he was all into her as well. Like I felt like he was definitely giving her
flirty.
vibes.
Flirty.
Like
He's
he's
flirty.
just
Right.
a charming, flirty guy. I did not misread that at all because guys are very assertive. If they want to be up on you, they're gonna be up on you. He was not really up on her. He was spotting her, and I don't think he was assertive enough to say, "Oh, like he was on her." I didn't get that at all.
But
I
definitely
got
got that.
her flirting because of what she was saying, and I'm just so wet. And so I got that. But him, I felt like he was just playing off of her energy. It wasn't like he was after that.
and he seems like the kind of guy that like will do that. Like he like can be flirtatious or whatever, but just that kind of guy. He's not stiff or anything like that. And so if he's playing off her energy, I didn't get that he was like you said. Yes. If I want a woman, you're just gonna go after them. A guy, an alpha male, or anybody that likes a woman, they're just gonna go after them. There's not
Straight
gonna
up.
be a situation where like, oh, I'm gonna sit
It's
here.
not a
and-
guessing game.
Exactly.
It's
You're not
nothing
gonna.
to
athlete.
You're gonna know
You
if I
already
like
have
you.
her,
If
so-
I want you, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be apparent. So I think, but it's easy for you if you do like somebody to kind of make something into something it's not. Oh, he was spotting me really close. Well, you have to spot someone close. That's the point of spotting.
Well, let's
do
just
you
say
see
it
what
was
I'm
the
saying?
more
editor.
flirty than that.
It was
he
the
was being a
editor.
little more flirty than that.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was.
But they're friends.
but
They
you're
have
right.
history. They have history. They're not strangers.
And I get what you're saying. Like, when you like someone, you're going to take any as like, oh my gosh,
Sure.
they like me too.
Sure.
Of course you're going to take it like
Right,
that.
right.
But I don't think that she was being thirsty. I think that she was just being honest and open, and she wanted to know like how he felt about her. And I don't think it's anything wrong. I feel like it's something wrong with our culture. Like whenever someone's open and they just want to tell you how they feel about you, then all of a sudden it's like the thirst trap.
I don't know.
That part
that's
isn't
right.
thirsty.
I don't think that's thirsty. When they had the conversation,
Right.
and she let him know, like, okay, this is where I'm at, and he's like, yo, and he was in the corner, so he was like, I have a girlfriend, and so that way it squashed it. She let her know. My thing was the way she was talking from the first episode.
I see what you're saying.
It was just like, oh, if there's could be
It was
something.
a build up,
and
and that was
right.
the thirsty part. And then she kept saying, "I get to be alone with Zac.
Yeah.
I
That
get to
part.
be on the deal
I
with
see it,
Zac."
yeah.
But didn't he
Just
say
to
that he's
keep
looking
repeating
for?
that was the thirsty part.
Okay.
Not her coming out saying, "Hey, like I'm into you," and wanting him to reciprocate those feelings. That's not thirsty. I love stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm
Right.
totally a chick flick person.
But
yeah.
I remember him saying that he was looking for, somebody to settle down with, and
He is. He's talking about the girl he with now. He is looking for that, and he's pursuing that actively.
It doesn't seem like he wants it with her.
Do you ever think anything would happen with him and Sarah?
oh no.
Because I feel like, you know that conversation on
First
the
of
beach?
all, Sarah was like,
Hold on,
no.
hold on.
Why?
But that conversation conversation on the beach just like made me think, is something gonna happen? It just seemed kind of like
that conversation was weird. That was weird,
right?
Sarah talking about, why can't I sleep with him?
Yeah.
Because
you're my girlfriend.
What you mean? I don't care if we dated one time, had sex one time. He's done off limits. There's too many people in this world for you to be getting my leftovers. You shouldn't even want them.
Right. Yeah. I feel you.
No, I feel different. So do you think that there was some thirst? Like, did she need some Gatorade or something? Like, do you think that was going on? In your
Sarah
opinion?
or Sam?
No, with Sam.
Sam. I wouldn't say thirsty because I'm also very forward. Like, if I like you, I'm going to let it be known that I like you. So I just feel like she was putting herself out there, and Zac shut it down.
Right.
And he is very flirty, though. I will give it. So I can see why she would have, like, the wrong, like, misconception. Yeah. But, yeah, that's just Zac being Zac. It don't mean anything. He got a girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Boom. Okay. There it is.
Clarity.
Not much thirst, I guess, is the moral of that story. We do see the scene where you meet up with Tai. You're an amazing boss. And you have a $24 million listing that is with Kai, who is Stevie Wonder's ex-wife. And the butting heads start to get. And it's like, you have this, and it sounded to me, and you can explain further, that she's been kind of a long-time client. She's not a new client. She's been a long-time client and kind of entrusting you with working out this property, and you're kind of telling her, we can do this, we can do that. And Ty's like, no, don't tell her that. Is that what was going on?
So, yeah, she leased that house from Tai before I was even with him, and she was doing a year lease, so her lease is up, and now she's thinking about buying the house. And Tai, she had, like, some things that she wanted to do. Like, I'm looking, like, the whole, movie theater isn't done. There's no pool in the back. It's a $24 million house. Who's paying $24 million for a house with no pool?
Right.
And so I just feel like she's coming through and she's saying all this, and this is a $600,000 commission. I don't care if I have to be there digging the damn pool myself. Like, we're going to get this pool done. And that's, like, kind of my attitude. Like, I'm like, whatever it takes to get it done. And he's just kind of like, don't make false promises. But it's not a false promise because we're going to get it done.
Right.
So I just feel like that's just his approach is just like, don't over promise, and mine is just kind of like, well, we're gonna get it done because we need to close this deal and I need that check.
So that's where that's coming in.
Yeah.
And he obviously, does he think his reputation is at stake? Because it sounds like he's very much about his reputation. He's been doing this for a while. He feels like he's kind of a fixture in your community. And based on what we heard from Andrew last week, is that it's a very niche community, very small.
It is.
So it's like everybody kind of knows everybody.
Yeah, I feel like part of me also feels like he was just like, it's more just because I said it. Like, because I'm saying, yes, we need this pool, because I'm saying, yes, we need this movie theater, he's, like, shutting me down. But it's like, if I weren't there, he would probably be saying the same thing I'm saying. Let's get it done. Like, okay, I'm going to call the contractors, because he's very much so like that. Like, he has all the connections, all the plugs, all the, contractors and everything. He could get it done.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like because it was coming from me, he was, like, trying to shut my shit down.
Gotcha. Get it together, Tai.
I have a question, Taylor. So, has he let you go free? Like, are you like an agent pulling in your own deals, or is he holding your hand with every listing?
So I came to him because I needed help with listings. I have my own listings, of course. I have my own deals that I do, but I'm trying to be on the next level. I want to do the celebrity clients. And so when he brings me on board, he's making these my clients too. These are our clients. We're splitting this commission.
Okay.
My money is involved as well.
Yeah.
So I just feel like when it comes to that though, he's not getting that we're working together. It's still like you work under me, you're an apprentice. Like, no, I'm a licensed agent just like you are.
Boom.
You know? So it's just like, I just feel like that's just what
Well, at least it's 50-50.
It is.
I might let him talk a little shit if I'm getting 50.
I know.
Well, the deal has to close. What's 50% of $0?
Right.
I mean, but
it will.
I think that you bring a really, really, really good flavor to it. Because again, like, even though Tai kind of has his own idea of like how he wants it to go, you help him think about things like, for instance, with the Stevie Wonder's ex-wife, you kind of allowed him to see things about the house that actually needed to be done. Where he was like, well, it doesn't matter. You're like, well, wait a minute. If we don't do those things, then she may not even close on the deal. So yeah.
I know we see a lot of bad things about Tai, like editing can be all meh. So are there good things? Like, has he taught you some things that you can use
so like
going forward?
What I kind of said with him was like, towards the end of the episode, I said, you're good for a couple weeks and like you're teaching me and like I go on listings with him, showings and everything like that, and it is learning. Like I'm learning how to interact with celebrity clients, and he is teaching me things, but it's also like he's like having such restraint. It's like I can't grow, I can't show that I know what I'm doing as well. I'm learning just being here, but let me show you, like let me prove to you that like I know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me tell you guys who's in the chat right now.
Tell us.
Who is here for Taylor and her ponytail.
Yes.
Mr. Andrew Tyree.
What up, Drew?
Yes.
What up, Drew?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's loving the ponytail. So yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, he
Thank
texted
you,
me
Andrew.
earlier. He's like, y'all starting late. And I was like, I did tell him, I was like, it's the women's fault.
Oh, it was.
Just let him know.
Was it
I was late.
So there was a really emotional scene. You were kind of all throughout this episode, so I'm really glad you're here during this episode. There was an emotional scene where you were talking to your father and brother, and you were talking about the issues at work, and your mom came up. And talking about drugs and her relapsing. It was very, very touching. It was very heartfelt. To me, it took me out of the sense of this being a reality show, and that you were really talking from your heart.
Yeah.
I know it's tough, but can you just take us to what prompted you to talk to your father and brother at that moment?
I just feel like I always go to like my dad. He's like my rock. Like literally, I don't know what I would do without him. And so I just like go to him with whatever. And this was just something that was affecting me, and I feel like affecting my relationship with other people in the group. And so I just felt like, you know, this was the time to talk about it, and also knowing that I'm on a platform where I can reach an audience of people who might be going through the same thing. I just feel like it's important for everybody to see that you can have like an open dialect about how things make you feel and how things affect you and why you are the way you are, and it helps people also understand why I am the way I am, you know? I'm not just some angry, you know, crazy person. Like there's a reason why I do what I do, and so for everybody to just see that side and be able to relate to it, it just felt like it was the right time.
I was so glad that they actually like showed that scene, because it was like it left a bad taste in our mouth when we saw the fight between you and Anjani. And this kind of gave us a grounding moment for you. Like we got to know you from the core.
Right.
And I was so glad that they had that juxtaposition with you being fire and then you being like smooth, like, okay, this is who she really is, and she has a soft center.
Yeah. And I didn't want it to be like any excuse like, oh, you know, my mom wasn't around, so that's why I'm so angry and all of that. Like it plays a part for sure, but I can take responsibility. You know, I was 19, and so I'm a little bit immature at times, of course, and I am just naturally like I have a fire personality. I don't want it to be like an excuse, but I just do want people to see like I am human too, and like I go through stuff as well, you know.
Absolutely.
I have to like kind of keep like a hard barrier at all times, but I just want people to see like there's a soft part to me as well.
Yeah, you're so strong, and thank you for sharing that testimony. Seriously.
Throughout the season, there's more, you know, gets more into it, so I'm excited to like hopefully help people who are in the same position.
Yes. And I've been through I've been through something very similar to that. So thank you so much for being vulnerable. And I want to give so much props to your dad for having him like still want you to have a relationship with your like I'm gonna get emotional. I'm so emotional. But like to still want that for you to have that relationship with her. And he's like, yeah, your mom's a great woman, you know, even though she did leave. And so I just commend him and like your guys' relationship, and I can see why you love him so freaking much. Like,
Great.
He's great. Yeah.
He's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, sensitivity all over the place. All these sensitive thugs. There's so many
Hey, you
sensitive
said you were
thugs.
sensitive, yeah.
I am a sensitive thug. I'm a poet. I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I have tattoos. Speaking of someone that needed some help from their parents, Anjani, your arch nemesis. She calls her mom because apparently she finds out from a phone call while she's, I think on Rodeo Drive or somewhere.
She was in Hollywood.
It was Hollywood?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was at work. It looked like she was on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, okay. She was.
Oh no, when she was shopping with her friend, that's when she got the call.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that was
Shopping.
No, but when she was talking to her mom and she was crying, I think she was.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. You're right.
Bottom line is she was shopping. The point is, she was shopping with money that she didn't have yet. And she gets a call that the deal is not going to go through, and the seller pulled out because they read about Sean King and Sean Kingston, and that he didn't have supposedly any money, and he was living with his mom, and like a bunch of stuff that may or may not be true, but spooked the seller nonetheless. So they pulled the deal. So the deal is dead.
The check isn't closed
The
until
check
the
is
deal
not
isn't closed
closing.
until you get the check
So
in your
when
hand.
you were turning up, you were telling the truth.
Right, you
You were telling the
I've been through this. I'm
Don't
speaking from
count your
experience.
chickens
Before they hatch.
Exactly, they turn into eggs. Like, don't do it. So what ends up happening is
They turn into eggs.
All right.
Then they're still an egg.
don't. I'm a sensitive thug. Let me do my thing.
I was just kind of wondering the whole concept, but hey.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But she does call her mom, and she's kind of, crying to her mom. This is hard for her because obviously she's working as a waitress. She wants to get a better life. She's in LA. I don't know how long she's been here. But, I mean, it's kind of the quintessential story of moving to LA, trying to live a better life. But also, as we all know, that it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
You got to put in work. You got, if that's where you want to be. And I want to go to you, and not to, bring any type of, but did you feel like, because like was it a kind of a I told you so moment in a sense?
Look at her. Look at her.
Not any hatred.
Stew on it.
Yeah. Hold on.
But just like,
how can I? No, I mean it is, and I told you so. But it's like I didn't wish that.
No, of course,
I did
of
tell her. I
course.
said I wish you the best. I do, and I meant that genuinely. I
Right.
don't want to see her working at Hooters when she wants to be,
Right.
a successful real estate agent. I want her to succeed, but I'm just like trying to show her like humble yourself and just know like there's so many ups and downs in this industry. Very rarely is it that your first deal is what works out and your life changes overnight. It just doesn't work like that. I wish it did, but I'm not trying to say I told you so, but it was a lesson that she had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
but a lesson learned nonetheless. You do meet up at is it Viva Hollywood?
Yeah.
That you girls were at? Okay. And Sarah's teasing Dak about the deal, and of course, that whole situation. And then Anjani is there looking stressed because of what happened. Just all
Very
the way,
humble.
just all like really
She was humbled.
wind out of her sails.
We do love Anjani. I just want to say that we do.
No,
love
of
her.
course,
Yeah.
but this is we're recounting the episode.
Yes.
And she was definitely in the corner sulking
Yeah.
because she lost the deal that she thought she was gonna get, and I would probably do the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Of course, especially when you're shopping without the money. So then
This is the
Tai-
ultimate shade.
Ty comes again, your boy Ty, and was like, "Yo," and there was some alcohol involved, so I don't know if there was a helping in the factor, but he basically was like, "Yo, what's up? I feel like there's some stuff between us, da 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 da." And then you guys kind of argue, and then you just storm off, and it's just like, "Oh, I'm done." Was it just the breaking point at that issue?
I think that ghetto shit comment really got
What
to me.
was
Yeah.
that?
I know.
That was too far.
That was bad.
I should have left when he said that. The fact that I even stayed around.
Was that like what was that referring to?
I don't understand. I don't get that. I don't think ghetto is just a word to describe me. Opinionated, maybe even like argumentative. Like I'll take that, but ghetto, I wouldn't say that I'm ghetto, especially not in front of clients like in the Vanessa Simmons showing and in front of Kai. Like I was never ghetto at that point. So I just feel like he's just like pulling shit out of his ass to like say to make me mad and get under my skin. And that day it just worked. And I'm like, I'm just gonna walk out of here before it's another Anjani full on yelling session. So I just try to remove myself before it got too bad.
Yeah, and Yak's oblivious.
Yeah.
He's like, what did I ever do? What do you mean? What are you talking about? So do you think if, like, in the moment he did something, if you said, hey, for instance, this is not okay when you do this, do you think he would be receptive to it at all? Or do you think it'd be, like, lost cause?
I feel like I try to tell him about himself a lot.
Yeah.
And he just it's just Ty's always right. You know, like he doesn't get even I was telling him, like, I try to call you all the time and ask you what to do. He's like, why don't you call me and ask I call you all the time and ask, like, what can I do? Where, like, what do you need? Like, I'm literally, like, begging you for work, and you're not giving it to me. And then for you to sit here and say, why aren't you asking me for shit to do, when that's literally the epitome of what I'm doing? It's just, like, he's in his own world. Like, he's just his own person in his own world. And it's Ty's world, and we're living in it. So
I think that he's really intimidated by you because he sees that you're a boss. And honestly, like, of course, you asked him for his help, but I feel like he sees that you have the potential to be way much better. And I think that, you know, he's just really trying to shut that down. Or he also could be trying to use that to kind of like push you even further, you know?
I just feel like you see in these showings, these clients are connecting with me. It's not like they're sitting here and thinking the same thing that Ty's thinking, like, why is she talking so much, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they really do connect with me, and I just feel like maybe he wants to keep me under his wing, and he doesn't want me to, like, get too, you know, big-headed and then end up, like, leaving and doing better than him. I think maybe he just likes me.
That's the point.
Yeah,
But
like,
he knows that you're good. That's the thing.
He has to.
He knows that you're good. He does.
I mean, you are working.
Yeah,
there,
you are.
So wouldn't have you working there if you weren't you know, a good producer.
Yeah.
Right before the episode ends, we do see when the shot is shot and then it misses from Samantha to Zac. She shoots her shot and then he blocks it with all power in his relationship hand. And he basically is like, yo, this is the deal. I'm in a relationship. We don't know who this person is yet. We did see at the time, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if you guys caught that, because at the first episode he said he was in a long distance relationship.
Yes.
That is
Right?
what he said. Yeah. that is
So
what he said.
when he said this,
Right,
I
that's why
didn't
I
hear him
think she was
say.
thirsty.
I didn't hear him say long distance this time.
Oh.
He said he just said relationship. Not that that necessarily matters too bad, but I'm just wondering if he's just trying to. Long distance sounds like there's hope.
Open.
But if it's like relationship and they live around the corner, then it's
close it down.
Exactly.
But maybe it's new and it is long distance. Like maybe she legit lives far.
I honestly
away.
feel like, you know, at first he was really flirting with Samantha, and you know, trying to say certain things to kind of will her in enough. But I think that once he realized that she really liked him and like she was really trying to like push a little bit more feelings and emotions, he was like, "Dang, I gotta shut this down." Okay, well, actually, I'm in a relationship, so it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know, if not, old girl, you know how it is when somebody's on our man as women. You know, he had to shut that down because he didn't want to get in trouble.
But if she didn't bring it up, I don't know if he would have shut it down like that.
Well,
He only shut it down because she brought it up to him.
I don't know.
Right?
He seems a little like very.
He was very stern about, I'm in a relationship.
Very
like, I don't know what you
business.
think this is, but
even
like literally.
she went for a hug and he's like handshake.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
let's keep this professional.
like Andrew's high five. Boom.
But again, like I said before, in that first episode, he seems extremely flirtatious with her. I felt like, to me, he was giving her signs that yes, like, you know, I want you. So I don't know.
Okay, I can see that. Though.
It was a little misleading.
Yeah.
That's
From
why
episode
I said,
to episode. I don't know how much
Right.
time has passed though.
Yeah.
Right. That's the
True.
other thing too.
But we also don't know what's happening.
Right. Well, Zach's going to be here next week.
So we
Spoiler
can
alert.
ask him.
So we can ask him directly.
Yes.
What is the deal, son?
What's up?
Yeah. So that's been the episode. So my thing is, I feel like, first of all, I feel like just in 2 episodes we saw so many dynamics from you. So shout out to that. I'm really excited to see how you develop with, you know, what you're doing and shaping Jacob and then everything with Ty. I really hope that mends and he, like, you know, lets you do you thug thistle. Just saying. So we'll see. Let's get into predictions. Let's do that.
Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. So we saw there was a lot this episode. We got to see we got a new character. We saw touches from everybody else. We saw highs and lows. Shannon, what do you think going into the next episode?
I think we're gonna see some more between Angele and Andrew. I don't know, like her still trying to like sneak on in there, even though he's clearly
Wait, do that one more time.
sneak on. Even though he's engaged, so back up. But I think
love that.
she still has a little thing for him. Like you can
Yeah.
just
For
feel
sure.
those vibes. You feel
For
it
sure,
through the
for
screen.
sure.
Yeah.
She's reading it.
And I think Zac is gonna start like sending Sam mixed signals again, like just based on like the preview for next week. She's like, he's been thinking about it. He's been stewing on it, like me telling him I like him. So I feel like he might be sending mixed signals all over again, like saying I have a girlfriend, but then going back on the flirt train with her. So I don't know. That's kind of what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the love interest is getting ready to heat up with so many different people in this episode. You know, like we said before. I do think that we're going to see some deals close between Tai and Taylor. I think so, personally. And I just think that, I did see that they had Brandy. So I'm like interesting to see who's going to get that deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think that we're going to see some love interest going on and we're going to see some deals closing. That's my prediction.
Yes.
Word.
Oh.
What you think, Angele?
We have Zane popped into the live chat. Let me give my prediction first. I think that Anjani will have a redeeming close. So I just want that for her so bad to put her in another position financially. And also, I feel like there may be something brewing between Sarah and Zac, maybe to kind of push their dialogue forward, because her reaction to why can't I sleep with him, like weird. That was kind of a setup for something that may or may not happen later, like maybe a wild evening after a close. I don't know. That would be fun. But what do you think?
Okay, here we go. So I think that we are going to see, if not next episode, the one after, we're going to see Zac's girlfriend. So she's going to appear, and how that affects Miss Samantha, for sure.
Do you know something?
I'm predicting. I mean, I'm a G. I don't know for real, but I'm predicting.
You're also the plug, too.
I mean, not like that. I'm not getting anything. So I also believe that with Miss Anjani, because of her state that she's in, I think that kind of Andrew has been kind of a little bit of a mentor, but she also favors him, right? So I think now she's going to be like, oh my gosh, I lost the deal. And Andrew's going to be like, yeah, girl, that's right. That happens sometimes. And I think that that's where
Why
it's
you
going
trying
to
to
be.
do his voice, though?
I'm just saying. And I think that that's going to cause probably where the situation, the rumor starts, where she feels some kind of way because he's being nice to her, helping her out through a tough time. And so I think that that is going to happen. And I think that Taylor and Tai are still going to be going at it. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
I think a deal's going to close somewhere. Of course, she can't tell us, but
she turned up on Tai. Did you break up with him as a broker? Like, what was that fight about?
That was a heated argument, and you'll see, I guess, how it turns out next episode. But there's so many twists and turns in this season. Like, you can't even it gets so juicy. Every episode by every episode, like everybody's just gonna be more and more hooked. Like it's an insane season. So I will say that.
Word. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. We want to thank you so much for tuning in, everyone on live chat. Shout out to our guest, Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, this is the Love and Listings After Show. Make sure you tune in every time we go live at 7:10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've been your host, Lem Gonsavles, and you can find me everywhere at Lem Gonsavles.
You can find me on Instagram at Angele Taylor _.
All social media platforms as Miss Neema Skye, and that Skye ends with an E.
Hey, and you can find me on Instagram at shenanigans.tv. See you there.
Always make sure you giggle. Taylor, where can the fans find you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm at Taylor Schwartz. Twitter, Tay Schwartz1, but Instagram is really the go-to.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Thanks, girl.
As I mentioned, next week we will have Zac in the building, so make sure you tune in. That's going to be another hot show. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.